Oh man, I forgot. I gotta put the intro back on here. Salute to everybody who's tapped in though. Appreciate all y'all. You know what? We're gonna do it. The hell with it. Let's get it.
Like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who could bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GTV Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have yourself to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth on LDBC. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
All right, man. Y'all press 2 if y'all can hear me in the comments, man. Let me get a mic check. Press 2 if y'all can hear me in the comments. Salute to everybody that's tapped in, man. I got some breaking news for you guys, man. It's just unbelievable, bro. Unfreaking believable, man. Y'all can hear me, man? All right, man. Salute, man. Salute everybody for showing love, tapping on in, man. I was going to do a different video, and then this just came up, man. Unbelievable, man. I had something else I wanted to talk about, which I'll probably come in later tonight and talk about now. But this came up, man, and just savage information, y'all. Savage things going on with Diddy. It's so bad, I can't even put the title on the screen, man. So, according to the reports, Sean Diddy Combs has been accused yet again. He has a new accuser coming up now during his trial. And a new accuser is coming suing him with a civil lawsuit. And this accuser got so disrespectful. I mean, bro, man, listen, man. When I tell y'all what this accuser said, wow, man. Wow, wow, wow. So, this accuser, you guys, has came out and filed a lawsuit against Sean Combs and alleges, according to reports from TMZ, that Sean Combs sexually assaulted her with his Tootsie Roll-sized beefcake. Let me repeat myself again. There is an accuser that has come out on Sean Combs now, during his trial, right now. And she is now accusing Sean Combs of R-wording her with what she says the size of a Tootsie Roll. Now, she is saying, she basically is describing what she says is the size of this man's beefcake. And she says that it's Tootsie Roll size, according to TMZ reports. This is crazy, man. So it says, Diddy R-word a woman according to her allegations at his Manhattan apartment, but the woman said she said she was actually relieved when he whipped out his beefcake because she knew it wouldn't hurt that much due to the lack of length and girth. Man, this is just absolutely degrading right here on Diddy, man. At least according to this new lawsuit. The Bad Boy founder is being sued by a Jane Doe who claims that they met in May of 2001. She says they hung out a few times without incident at his Manhattan recording studio, nightclubs, and a restaurant. But things went south in July of 2001 on their fourth meeting. According to this woman, she's claiming that after a night out at the club, Diddy took her back to his apartment, leading her to his bedroom where he locked the door and pushed her down on the bed on her back, placing his hand around her throat and telling her, "I'm going to suck the life out of you." The woman claims Diddy released his grip on her neck and then held her arm down, using his other hand to unbuckle his belt and pants before pulling out his erect, bare skin beefcake, which appeared to be the length and the girth of a large Tootsie Roll, right? In her lawsuit, she recalls feeling relieved by the size of Diddy's beefcake, claiming she knew it wouldn't hurt as much when he sexually assaulted her due to the lack of length and girth, saying she thought his beefcake was a quote unquote itty bitty Diddy. The woman claims she screamed for Diddy to get off her and stop, and told him she didn't want to have sex. But she says he overpowered her and did not stop penetrating her until he was close to climaxing. She claims he pulled out and bust all over her body. Then she says he backed away from her as she slid off the bed and went to the bathroom to wipe his residue off of her. The woman claims when she exited the bathroom, Diddy was naked in the bed and she ran for the door and locked it. She says a bodyguard was standing outside of the room and she asked him where the exit was, and he gestured downstairs. She says she left the place and Diddy's staff drove her and her friend home. She claims Diddy called her a few times after the alleged sexual assault and even invited her to one of his white parties, but she says she did not respond to his calls. Since the alleged sexual assault, the woman claims she's found it hard to be vulnerable and alone with men and has withdrawn and become a shell of herself. She also claims she needed psychotherapy to confront and address the trauma and move on. She says she suffered physical abuse, emotional abuse, trauma, injury, and psychological damage as a result of Diddy's actions. The woman is going after damages. TMZ reached out to her legal team, but there's no word back. And I quote, now apparently there's some pictures in here where she apparently dropped a picture of her phone where Diddy's number was in it, I guess, in her phone. And I guess it may have been, I don't know, some missed calls. Now, I'm currently looking for this full lawsuit right now. Hold on. I'm trying to find it right now. Let me see. Because I want y'all to see what she said. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. I knew somebody was going to come out with this type of stuff, man. I knew some during the trial. Because, see, I'm going to tell you something. Diddy going to get more lawsuits. More people now, it's going to come out because they see Cassie up there. And they're going to say, oh, I got to get mine. They heard Cassie say 20 million. They coming. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth, man. Some of these people going to be lying, man. I'm telling y'all this. Some of them going to be lying. Now, some of them going to be telling the truth, but some of them going to be lying. This woman right here, see, I'm going to tell you something. I'll be honest with you. Now, this ain't Tony Busby. I'm going to be honest with you. I would throw that lawsuit out, and I'm going to tell you why if I was a judge. First of all, she ain't serious, in my opinion. You sitting up here talking about Tootsie Roll size, itty bitty Diddy. Like, you trying to be funny. You know, sexual assault is serious. And you trying to be funny. You know what I'm saying? You could have just said, look, I can describe, you know what I'm saying, his beefcake. But you trying to be funny. You trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a joke. You know what I mean? You know? It's just crazy, man. Crazy work, you guys. Crazy work, man. Let me see if I see it. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to see if I see it right now. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it, you guys. I want to find it right here. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see if it's up here in the database. What's today's date? Let me see. Do I see it in the database today? Hold on. I'm trying to look for it right now. Trying to look for it right now, you guys. Diddy got so many lawsuits out here, man. It's crazy, bro. Let me see if it's in the system. Because I want to show y'all. She said that Diddy had an itty bitty. She called it an itty bitty Diddy. It's crazy, man. She called this man's beefcake a itty bitty Diddy. Come on, man. That's crazy. Like at that point, I'm as a judge, I'm like, yo, you trying to be funny more than you trying to be serious. You know what I'm saying? And, again, man, like I said before, bro. Crazy work, man. Crazy work, man. Crazy work. Let me see. I don't see it there. Let me see. Let me see if I see it on here. Hold on. Let me see if I see it. Do I see it right here? Let me see. Nah, I don't see it. I don't see the lawsuit online. I'm looking for it right now. And I don't see it here online right now. Maybe it'll pop up in a little while. But yeah, y'all, this is crazy work, man. Crazy work, man. Crazy work, bro. Crazy work. And like I told you guys, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. Some of this stuff is gonna be capped. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe all the allegations. Especially, people trying to be funny, man. Sexual assault ain't funny, man. That's not funny. It's not something to be out here joking about. You talking about the man got a Tootsie Roll and an itty bitty, like, come on. You trying to, like, are you trying to be serious? Or are you trying to have is this Def Comedy Jam? Like, which one is it? Tell me. Somebody got to tell me. I know some of y'all think I'm joking too. I'm finna show y'all exactly what she said. Sad, man. Hold on, let me put this on the screen. I got it right here. I'm gonna show y'all right before I go out here, because I ain't gonna spend all night on this. This is just crazy work, though, man. I'm telling y'all. For this woman to come out and say this type of stuff, like, it just make you think, like, are you serious, man? Are you serious? My bad. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all right now. Y'all smash the like button as y'all come on in. I'm finna show y'all right now. People can't be serious, man. Let me put this on the screen for y'all. Here it go. This is what the woman wrote. This is TMZ, man. And like I said before, man. Come on, man. What type time is this, man? What type time is this? What type time is this, bro? Y'all feel me? Hold on. I got the lawsuit right here, y'all. I got the lawsuit right here, man. I got it. Shout out to my boy Diddy. Docket. I got it right here, man. Crazy work, man. Crazy work, man. I'm going to read this lawsuit to you guys. Let me see how many pages it is. Oh, this thing is 22 pages. Let me see who's the lawyer. Who was the lawyer? This is in the Supreme Court, State of New York, State of New York, County of New York. Let me see who the lawyer is. Hold on. What? No, that's an insult, man. No, this is an insult, bro. Bro, this person actually put a Tootsie Roll. And this is Sack and Sack Law Firm, y'all. Jonathan Sack is the lawyer. Sack and Sack LLP. They actually put a picture of a Tootsie Roll in a lawsuit. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm finna show y'all this. I'm literally finna show y'all this. I'm literally finna show y'all this. They put the picture of a Tootsie Roll and described that as being the size of Diddy's Sakistan. Also, showed a picture of Diddy's phone number to say that they had Diddy's number in the phone. So they showed a picture of Diddy's phone number, showed a picture of her and her friends. I guess I'm not gonna put that on the screen. I'm not gonna put what she said Diddy's phone number is on the screen. I'm pretty sure he changed that number by now. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on the screen though. I'm gonna read to y'all what some of her lawsuit says. This doesn't make any sense whatsoever, man. This is just crazy work, bro. This is crazy work. Crazy work. Crazy work, y'all. Hold on. I know y'all ain't finna believe this. I gotta put this on the screen. This woman put a Tootsie Roll, the picture of a Tootsie Roll on the goddamn lawsuit, y'all. Can y'all believe this? This is public humiliation, bro. Hold on. I gotta put this up here. This is public humiliation right here, bro. That's why listen, I'm telling y'all right now. Let me read this to you guys. That's a page from the lawsuit right there. Let me read this right quick. Right? And I'll start from page 1. And this is a different page right here, but I'm gonna start from page 1. This is crazy work, bro. Crazy work. Crazy work. So it says, defendant Sean Combs, known as Defendant Combs, is a music producer and a business mogul with residence in New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and other locations, who currently is the subject of dozens of lawsuits as well as a criminal investigation over his, among other crimes, abuse, assault, coercion, and intimidation of women, including the plaintiff, which have occurred over many years involving numerous victims, which also were funded, facilitated, and perpetuated by his associates, employees, and various companies. All right. Presently, Combs is in jail waiting criminal charges on criminal trial, awaiting. So she filed this before Diddy went to trial, I think. Because it says presently Combs is in jail awaiting criminal trial on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, among other things. Right? The plaintiff, Jane Doe, works in sales and is a wife and mother who resides in the state of New York. The allegations made against the defendant herein began in May of 2001 and continued in July of 2001. Right? Now, it says that the plaintiff, Jane Doe, is an adult over the age of 18 and younger than the age of 55. The defendant, upon information and belief, resides within the state of California. Defendant of Bad Boy Records. I'll read all that later on. Let's get right to the accusations. Right? So it says facts relevant to all causes of action. Right? Now let's get into that. Right? All right. So it says this. This is an action for injuries and damages suffered by plaintiff Jane Doe as a direct and proximate result of the defendant's wrongful conduct began in May of 2001 and conducted through July 2001. Plaintiff Jane Doe first met defendant Combs in May of 2001 in the elevator in a building which housed the law firm Grubman and Dursky, located at 157 West 57th Street, New York, New York. Defendant Combs looked plaintiff Jane Doe who was present with three of her friends, up and down, while staring and asked, "Any chance you guys want to come to the party tonight?" Defendant Combs proceeded to ask the plaintiff Jane Doe for a phone number, which she provided him. Later that day, Defendant Combs called the plaintiff Jane Doe, said, "We're going to a club tonight," and requested her name and the names of her friends for the guest list. Plaintiff Jane Doe observed Defendant Combs' phone number to be blank, 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 blank. She proceeded to save his number in her phone in her contact list. And she has a picture of Diddy in her phone in her contact list, and she put a screenshot, which I won't show. That evening, approximately 11 o'clock p.m., plaintiff Jane Doe and her friends arrived at the location provided by Defendant Combs. Plaintiff's first night out with Defendant Combs. Upon arriving at the club, plaintiff Jane Doe provided her name and was ushered into the VIP section of the club where Defendant Combs was seated at a table. Plaintiff Jane Doe joined Defendant Combs and began to have a conversation with him. During the conversation, Defendant Combs abruptly said, "You're very well manicured. You keep yourself together. I like your nails and toes." Plaintiff Jane Doe accepted the compliment and the two continued talking and drinking. The night ended without incident. This was the first step in Defendant Combs' well-worn scheme to groom the plaintiff Jane Doe. Plaintiff's second night out with Defendant Combs. 2 days later, Defendant Combs called the plaintiff Jane Doe and asked her to meet him at his studio. All right. Plaintiff Jane Doe accepted the invitation, and she, along with two other friends, arrived at Bad Boy Records, located at the west side of Manhattan. They took a photo to memorialize the evening, and they put the photo in the lawsuit. Plaintiff Jane Doe and her friends were led upstairs by physically large bodyguards and into a room that contained a pool table, a bar filled with alcohol and music equipment. After a few minutes, Defendant Combs entered the room. Defendant Combs, plaintiff Jane Doe, and her friends and others hung out for some time at the studio before leaving to go to a club. Defendant Combs arranged for them to be transported to the club in one of his black SUVs. At least 6 people were present in the vehicle, at least half of whom were large bodyguards. During the car ride, Defendant Combs leaned over and attempted to kiss plaintiff Jane Doe. Plaintiff Jane Doe physically moved to avoid the Defendant Combs' effort to kiss her, forcefully stated, "Whoa, I didn't say you could do that," and glanced at the men seated in the front of the vehicle. In response, Defendant Combs followed plaintiff Jane Doe's line of sight, saw that she was looking at his bodyguards and drivers, and yelled, "They work for me. I pay them. They are not going to ever turn around." Immediately, one of the male bodyguards he was referring to turned around and looked at plaintiff Joe and Defendant Combs. Defendant Combs immediately began yelling and cursing at the male bodyguard for embarrassing him. The vehicle arrived at the club and everyone exited the vehicle. Plaintiff Jane Doe and her friends followed Defendant Combs and his entourage of bodyguards into the club. The night ended without further incident. Again, part of the Defendant Combs' sick scheme to groom the plaintiff into thinking it was safe to be around him. Plaintiff's third night out with the Defendant Combs in July of 2001, Defendant Combs contacted plaintiff Jane Doe and requested that she come to a studio again. Plaintiff Jane Doe agreed, along with a friend, went to Bad Boy Records studio in Manhattan. Plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend, Defendant Combs, and several employees and members of his entourage spent time at Defendant Combs' recording studio before deciding to go to a club. Plaintiff Jane Doe, her friend, Defendant Combs, and members of his entourage entered one of his black SUVs and drove to the club. While at the club, there was a sudden commotion, and Defendant Combs' bodyguards rushed the plaintiff Jane Doe, her friend, and Defendant Combs out of the club into Defendant Combs' vehicle. Defendant Combs' driver drove them to the restaurant cafeteria located at 119th 7th Avenue in New York City. After arriving at the restaurant, plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend secretly decided they were ready to leave and chose to do so without warning and without informing Defendant Combs. When Defendant Combs realized the woman had left, rather than just gone to the restroom or stepped outside for a moment, he called plaintiff Jane Doe and began berating her on the phone, screaming, "Do you know who I am? No one does that to me. You can't just do that to me." In an effort to calm Defendant Combs down, plaintiff Jane Doe said that her friend didn't feel well, and that was the reason why she left. Weeks passed, and Defendant Combs did not reach out to plaintiff Jane Doe. Plaintiff Jane Doe forgot about Defendant Combs' anger after their last interaction. Plaintiff Jane Doe's fourth and final night with Defendant Combs. Defendant Combs, all words, plaintiff Jane Doe. I don't believe this lawsuit. This, I don't. How you gonna forget that he went off on you the last time you seen him? I don't. Like I said, I don't believe this. I don't believe it. I'll just be honest with you. You know, I don't want to demean and demonize no victims, but I don't believe this lawsuit. You said, and y'all know me, I'm gonna keep it 100 on my channel. You sat up here and said, like I said, first of all, you demean the man in the lawsuit. You demean him in a lawsuit by not just saying, "Hey, man, he have a small size and I can describe it," but you talking about, "Oh, he got a tootsie roll size and an itty bitty ditty and all that other stuff." Man, come on, man. What type of time is that, man? And you got serious victims out here, and you out here playing jokes. So the plaintiff says, she's talking about she forgot that he was angry with her the last time. If that's the last time y'all saw each other, you will remember what happened, right? Or not? So you don't remember it's not like a year passed. You don't remember that he yelled at you in the restaurant and hollered at you and did all that the last time you saw Diddy? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. So it said plaintiff Jane Doe's fourth and final night with Defendant Combs. Defendant Combs, all words, plaintiff Jane Doe. It says, on or about July the 31st, 2001, Defendant Combs called plaintiff Jane Doe and asked her if she wanted to go to the Bowery Ballroom to see performing artist Mos Def perform. Plaintiff Jane Doe agreed and asked if she could bring a friend. Defendant Combs agreed and told plaintiff Jane Doe that her and her friend should meet him at the Bad Boy Record Studio in Manhattan. Plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend arrived at the studio and waited briefly before Defendant Combs stated that it was time to go. Unlike the previous interactions, this time Defendant Combs told plaintiff Doe and her friend to enter a tour bus. The two women entered the tour bus and found themselves surrounded by 8 to 10 large imposing men. They felt extremely uncomfortable. On the floor of the tour bus, plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend observed open condom wrappers, used condoms, and women's underwear. The tour bus arrived at the Bowery Ballroom, and the occupants exited the bus and entered the location. Upon entering, Defendant Combs, plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend, and Defendant Combs' entourage were brought to a private area in the balcony to watch the show. Plaintiff Jane Doe noted that Defendant Combs did not appear to be friendly or jovial as in the past interactions. Defendant Combs and his entourage brought drinks to the plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend, which they consumed. Defendant Combs' entourage also began smoking marijuana and blowing smoke in the faces of Jane Doe and her friend. After about 40 minutes, plaintiff Jane Doe's friend asked her if she felt weird, and the plaintiff Jane Doe confirmed she did. Plaintiff Jane Doe further noted she felt weak in her arms and legs and unsteady on her feet. She even needed to hold on to the banister when they were descending the stairs to leave. The two women further discussed whether or not they had physically ever felt that way before, and both agreed that they had not. They believe it was possible and probable that their weakened physical state was a result of consuming an alcoholic beverage spiked with illegal drugs. Almost simultaneously, a spotlight was shown on Defendant Combs, and his presence was made to be known to the concert goers. As soon as the spotlight was removed from Defendant Combs, he said it was time to leave. Defendant Combs, Plaintiff Joe, her friend, and three other people left the Bowery Ballroom and entered a black SUV, not the tour bus they arrived in. Plaintiff Jane Doe asked if she and her friend could be driven to her Upper East Side apartment. Right? Defendant Combs said he would take her home, but that he needed to stop at his New York City apartment first. Defendant Combs' driver drove to Defendant Combs' home, which was located at 807 Park Avenue on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Defendant Combs exited the vehicle, grabbed Plaintiff Jane Doe's hand, and said, "Come with me real quick." Plaintiff Jane Doe exited the vehicle and followed Defendant Combs inside his home. Defendant Combs forcefully led Plaintiff Jane Doe to his bedroom and said, "I want to show you my bedroom." After Plaintiff Jane Doe and Defendant Combs entered his bedroom, Defendant Combs locked the door. When Defendant Combs turned around to face Plaintiff Jane Doe after locking the door, his face was distorted when he angrily said, "I don't think you know who I am. People don't do that to me." Defendant Combs pushed Plaintiff Jane Doe down to the bed on her back, put his hands around her throat, and said, "I'm going to suck the life out of you." Defendant Combs released Plaintiff Jane Doe's neck and held her arm down while using his other hand to swiftly unbuckle his pants before pulling out his erect bearskin beefcake, which appeared to be the length and girth of a large Tootsie Roll. Plaintiff Jane Doe recalls feeling relieved when she saw Defendant Combs' beefcake because she knew it wouldn't hurt as much when he R-worded her due to the lack of length and girth. She thought that his beefcake was an itty bitty Diddy. Plaintiff Jane Doe screamed, "Get off of me, stop, and no, I don't want to do this." Defendant Combs ignored the plaintiff's Jane Doe's pleas, slid her underwear to the side, forcibly engaged in vajayjay intercourse with her without her consent and against her will. Plaintiff Jane Doe repeatedly yelled, "Please stop, I don't want this," and tried to kick Defendant Combs. However, she was weak and physically significantly smaller than the defendant and was unable to push him off of her. Plaintiff Jane Doe's 5'2", 105 pounds frame was no match against Defendant Combs' 5'10", 180-pound frame. Defendant Combs did not stop penetrating Plaintiff Jane Doe until he was close to climaxing. Defendant Combs removed his beefcake from Plaintiff Jane Doe's vajayjay and bust onto Plaintiff Jane Doe's person. Then Defendant Combs backed away from Plaintiff Jane Doe. Plaintiff Jane Doe slid off the bed and went to the bathroom inside of the bedroom and wiped Defendant Combs' milk off of her. When Plaintiff Jane Doe exited the bedroom, Defendant Combs was completely naked and now laying in the bed. Plaintiff Jane Doe ran for the door and unlocked it. Outside of the bedroom door stood a bodyguard. Plaintiff Jane Doe asked the bodyguard which way was the exit, and he gestured downstairs. Plaintiff Jane Doe exited Defendant Combs' home and re-entered the black SUV waiting outside. Plaintiff Jane Doe's friend, the driver, and two additional employees of the Defendant Combs were inside the vehicle. The driver of the black SUV drove Plaintiff Jane Doe and her friend to Plaintiff Jane Doe's apartment in Manhattan. Approximately 2 days later, Defendant Combs called Plaintiff Jane Doe's phone. Plaintiff Jane Doe did not answer his calls. Defendant Combs called Plaintiff Jane Doe. Defendant Combs called Plaintiff Jane Doe. This is crazy, man. Dog. Oh, man. Man, bro. Dog. On several more occasions, she didn't answer the calls. Defendant Combs left Plaintiff Jane Doe a voicemail inviting her to one of his well-known white parties. Plaintiff Jane Doe did not respond to the invitation and did not attend the party. Following Plaintiff Jane Doe's sexual assault by Defendant Combs, she experienced trouble being vulnerable and alone with men. Plaintiff Jane Doe became withdrawn and was a shell of herself. Approximately 1 year after the events occurred on July the 31st, 2001, Plaintiff Jane Doe began psychotherapy to finally confront and address the trauma she had experienced. Plaintiff Jane Doe attended therapy sessions every week for approximately 6 months before she was ready to move on with her life. After completing therapy, Plaintiff Jane Doe was able to share her experience with her family, friends, including the friend she was with the night of the assault. In recounting the R word to her friend, Plaintiff remarked that he was an itty bitty Diddy. Accordingly, Plaintiff Jane Doe has suffered physical abuse, emotional abuse, trauma, injury, and psychological damage as a result of the defendant's intentional neglect and criminal actions. The lawyer that's bringing this lawsuit is let me see. Like I said, the lawyer that's bringing this lawsuit, his name is Jonathan Sack from Sack and Sack LP in New York. So this is a lawyer out of New York that's bringing this lawsuit against Diddy. Man, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Man, come on, man. Like, I'm all for the, like, if you really, you know what I'm saying, but you trying to be funny. You know, this is some serious stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? So you guys definitely let me know what y'all think, man. How y'all feel about this, man? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't believe this one. I think there's too many games being played, too much jokes, too much cracking. You know what I'm saying? It just makes you. And then things she said, you know, you said that the last time you met Diddy, he argued with you, got into this big argument with you, but you wouldn't remember that with Diddy, a public figure, that he blew up at you the last time you met, and y'all had only met each other a couple times. Come on, man. You guys let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all know me, man. I'm gonna call it straight down the line. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like this insults and stuff when you trying to be serious about something. Like I said, you trying to be serious about something, be serious about it, man. You got real people that's out here going through stuff. So y'all let me know what y'all feel, man. Peace.
All right, you guys. So we appreciate everybody that popped in, supported this video. Make sure that you guys shop our merch. We got that new A Weapons merchandise right there below this video. All you got to do is look below. The links will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well to get the merch, to donate, support the channel, and subscribe to our podcast show. You'll see all those links pinned at the top of the comment section of this video. And we appreciate everybody that supports this channel and our networks. Also, that straight drop weight loss formula. Go to the website. You guys will see that. A link for that will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well. Go right there for all of your weight loss needs. Straight drop weight loss formula. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. You can go to www.str-8-drop.com and get you some of the weight loss formula today. Take your weight loss serious. Get in the gym, work out, exercise, and do what you got to do. Stay on point. We appreciate everybody that's been locked into this video. Again, all the links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Salute to all of y'all. And again, we appreciate everybody who support what we doing over here.